Hi, I'm Sugar Ray Leonard. Coming up live on One on One. Stay tuned.
One on One. It's One on One with Eddie Alexander. One on One featuring the biggest names on the sports scene today. The fastest half hour in television is being brought to you by the United States Army, the place to be all that you can be.
Well, I don't have to tell you who my guest is today because you met the great Sugar Ray Leonard at the top of the show. We'll also be visiting with the great trainer, Angelo Dundee. But when we come back after this commercial break, I want Sugar Ray Leonard to respond to the front page of the current edition of Ebony magazine as he tells why he decided to jump in the ring April 6, 1987 against Marvelous Marvin Hagler. We'll be back with Sugar Ray Leonard right after this.
Aggressor tank spotted.
No, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go!
Alpha 1-3, foul.
In a battle drill, you've got good guys and you've got bad guys. The hunter and the hunted.
We got it for boxes that you can get. Let's get 'em.
If you're gonna win, you need horsepower, firepower, people power. That's teamwork.
Moving tank, track front, 2,000.
This team uses a computer, thermostat, laser rangefinder.
We win, the whole tank wins. The whole team wins, not just one person.
Find your future in the Army.
After 3 miles in 65-degree water and miles left to go, I refuse to waste my training or my energy by using anything but the best equipment. The Aurora bike by Aries is built to win. The Aurora frame is curved to allow a short wheelbase that flattens hills, straightens curves, and cheats the wind. Call Aries at 800-621-0851, extension 316.
When you send a package to Europe, do you get that sinking feeling that it could be anywhere? Here, there, out of your hands, out of your control, lost? Well, Federal Express goes to Europe. We make sending a package there as easy and reliable as it is here, because Federal tracks your package with computerized scanners. Federal Express, 2-day service to the major cities in Europe. Why fool around with anyone else?
Welcome back, everybody, to the fastest half hour in television, and I gotta tell you something right now. The biggest compliment that was paid to you by a fan was simply, he's the kind of athlete that I would want my daughter to marry.
Oh, God. She said, who said that?
Well, you know something, though? I know how you pride yourself in being a role model. This is very important for you, isn't it?
It is. I think the fact that because kids are, they deviate so easily from their goals, their main objectives in life, to be someone or something in life, because now with the drug scenes, and I think the exposures that young kids are experiencing now is quite detrimental. And I think for any kid to emulate an athlete or superstar, and most kids emulate athletes, I think it's an obligation, a lifetime commitment to us to make sure those kids follow the right road.
You know, at the top of the show, I alluded to the fact that on the cover of this month's edition of Ebony magazine, there was you and your wonderful family, and then there was the quote, "This is why I want the fight," and you had to go inside the magazine to find out. But for those who have not read the magazine, those who have not seen and listened to Sugar Ray Leonard concerning the fight with Marvin Hagler, tell us again why you have decided to come out of retirement for this one big fight. Why you wanted this thing so badly? Was it just for you?
It's just for me. I think you hit around the head there. A lot of people, we feel that the American dream is to live in Potomac, Maryland, a very exclusive neighborhood, to have 2 cars, to have a wife and 2 kids and a dog. I mean, there are more things than just the materialistic aspects of life. I tend to do what's going to make me happy. Before I sign an autograph for a young kid or a young lady, I must be content with myself. People also fail to realize when I retired, some 5 years ago. I was 26 years old. I was a young man. Through the advancement of medical technology, my eye or the injury that I suffered, it's okay now. I mean, they can do wonders now. And I'm very confident. I don't think about my eyes. I don't think about no injuries. I consider myself a non-conformist. I'm doing what's going to make Ray Leonard happy. Another thing is the fact that I'm coming back for a fight, not for a career. I've had a career.
Well, you know something else? While I watched you doing your public workout, I watched you work out, one thing also came to mind that you said some time ago on television. You said, I want this fight because I'm human. It's an ego thing. There's nothing else I have to prove to anyone. It's simply an ego thing. He's in the limelight. Is that true?
Well, that's somewhat true. I mean, quite naturally. I said, well, Ray, what is involved in this fight? I mean, is it ego? Is it pride? Is it money? I mean, it's all the above. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, quite naturally, everyone has an ego, and for anyone to say they don't have an ego, I got problems with that. But the fact that the ego and the vanity and the pride and the limelight, those things are quite minute. I'm an athlete. I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter. I'll be a fighter after I retire. The fact is, Hagler is he's the final chapter of my career. I've always wanted to fight Hagler. It's something that I always felt that was inevitable. It just happened, the fact that we happened to go other ways because of circumstances. But now this fight has become a reality, and I'm looking forward to it.
Sugar Ray Leonard has reportedly been preparing for this fight for over a year.
Oh, a year, yes.
Why is it you feel, as you have so confidently said, and you're always the power of positive thinking, I know that for a fact. Why is it you so positively feel I'm going to be the one to beat this man?
Well, I'll give you a brief synopsis. The way I prepared for this fight in a year, everything was done in stages. First of all, I had to convince myself that I wanted to fight, and I was going to deal with the media because they were the ones that was going to eat me up, be vicious towards me, be very pessimistic and cynical. I said, was I prepared to encounter that? I say yes, I want to fight. I don't care what no one says. And I'm not being outrageous or anything. I'm just doing what I want to do. Then it was a matter of conditioning stages, working out the cardiovascular, my legs, time and rhythm, going through the physical aspects of preparing myself for an event like this. All these things fell into like bi-monthly, and it was tough. It was difficult, but it was a necessity to prepare myself. I feel great now. I feel so confident now.
Do you have any pressure on you? Because you know what your fans who love you so much, like yours truly do, feel about you. You feel the pressure of not being on the canvas and not losing this fight? Is there pressure on you?
Well, you know, I have to put that aside. You know, quite there are a lot of people that care for me, and God, it's a great feeling to be admired by a lot of people. And a lot of people like me for me, and not because of who I am, which makes you feel very good. But I'm erased it from my mind. When I took this venture, it was like Ray Leonard must do what Ray Leonard must do. If there's any pressure, there's pressure on Hagler. He's expected to win. He's expected to knock me out. He's a big man. He's supposed to be impervious to pain. He hasn't been beaten 11 years. So the pressure's on him.
Why did you take this fight without a tune-up?
Because for me, what makes me tick is motivation. When I fought Kevin Howard, because people always refer back to my fight in 1984 against Kevin Howard, and he knocked me down. And said, well, now, if you didn't have it with Kevin Howard, you didn't have it with him. You can't have it with Hagler. They fail to realize when I fought Kevin Howard, it was a no-win situation. I was fighting a guy from obscurity. Hagler was down the road. I was going to fight Hagler down the road. But I just wasn't up for the fight. If I beat the guy, no big deal. But to have lost to Kevin Howard, it would substantiate people saying, I told you, kid, you don't have it.
Any nervousness right now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm about to step in the ring for the biggest fight of my life and career. And, but that's good. It's a positive nerve. I think it's the anticipation of a reality.
Have you carried the weight well?
It looks pretty good on me.
No, I'm talking about mentally and the way you feel inside.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I feel great. I've always been a positive thinker. I've always been a young man that whatever he's about to encounter, quite naturally, he's been quite analytical of it.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Nice seeing you again, buddy.
We'll see you in Las Vegas.
We're on the streets again, right?
Okay. We're visiting with the great Sugar Ray Leonard. We'll be back with Angelo Dundee right after we pause for these messages. Don't you dare go away. The trainer's next.
take you there. With Air Canada style, see how much we care. World class, worldwide, world class, worldwide. So fly Air Canada for all the best you deserve. All over the world. World class, worldwide. Air Canada.
This year, we're talking pennant. We've got the best pitching. We're stronger up the middle.
Think it's too early to be talking baseball? Not if you're a real fan. And here's where real fans will follow up on those preseason predictions. The Sporting News, the first and best news weekly in all of sports. The only one that brings you complete, in-depth coverage every week. Information you can't get anywhere else. Follow your favorite players and teams in the Sporting News, the fans' favorite for over 100 years. All the news and stats and standings, everything you want, every week, starting with a big baseball special preview issue. Grab a pencil, and here's a friend with all the details.
Call 1-800-351-5200. Save more than half off the single copy price and get 38 issues of the Sporting News for 3 payments of $7.16. That's 48% off the regular price, plus the guide to baseball nicknames. Call 1-800-351-5200.
Fever! Where's the package?
Your express company doesn't know. Nobody knows.
Hold it! If you'd used Federal Express, you wouldn't be having this problem. Come with me. Our customer service centers are the most sophisticated in the business. Here's all the information about your package.
Uh-huh.
So we can tell you its exact status within 30 minutes or your money back.
Uh-huh.
Next time, call Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
I should have called Federal. I don't know why I didn't call Federal. Nobody knows.
Welcome back, everybody. We told you that we're going to be visiting with the great trainer, Angelo Dundee, behind or in front of, whatever you want to say. Every great fighter is, of course, a great trainer, and there is nobody that is more respected in the ring, in the corner, among boxing fans than this man right here, Angelo Dundee. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I got to ask you something right now. How do you become a great trainer? Is it the relationship with a great fighter that has the both of you meshing together? Does that make a great trainer?
Well, first of all, I don't want to draw it out too long. You got to have good teaching. See, I was blessed when I was a kid back in New York City when it was a mecca of boxing in 1948, 49, 50, 51, 52. I had at my disposal the greatest trainers of all time. Ray Arcel, Chicky Ferrara, Whitey Bimstein, Charlie Goldman, I can go on and on, Teddy Bentham, who was around from the coast. I had all these guys, and they were right there, and they gave of themselves freely. I learned from these great trainers, and I had that basis. But as far as, you know, what you do with your fighter, you're as good as your fighter. I mean, you're as great as your fighter. It's what's on the stool that counts. You're just there as a added starter, so to put a little spice into the situation. If you got a talent, you can direct it. There's no problem. Because it is teamwork, by the way. It's rapport with each other, the way you bounce off each other.
Now, the viewers, the boxing fans, see you in the corner of a Muhammad Ali, a Sugar Ray Leonard. Is that relationship with Sugar Ray Leonard as real as what you just said? Is it a relationship that is very cohesive?
Oh, sure. We respect each other. We bounce off each other. We like each other, by the way. We get along real well. And I enjoy being with him because he's such a great talent. Because whatever I might direct in my own little way, he can produce because of his talent.
One of the things I said to him in the first part of the show is, I said, Sugar, I watch your workouts, your public workouts here, and I say to myself, why didn't he take a tune-up? Angelo Dundee, why didn't he take a tune-up?
Not necessary, because he got a little taste of why not take a tune-up. Because when he fought Kevin Howard, they saw the end result of a guy taking a tune-up before he fights a big fight. Couldn't get juiced up. In other words, it's not just a good fight, a fill-in. I'll give you a little case in point. Ray came down to Miami Beach a couple weeks before that Kevin Howard fight, and he was hitting a light bag. And the sound of a bag don't sound the same with a true pro, your fighter. You recognize the bag is really singing. This thing was stuttering. And I sort of walked over to Ray, he was sitting like back, hey man, what are you doing? You're dogging it. And he sort of laughed at me. He couldn't get juiced up for the fight. Don't have to be juiced up for this fight. He's fighting Marvin Hagler, man. He's sky high. This kid was flying over the Intercontinental Hotel one morning. I had to take him down and bring him back to his room.
You just said something, though, Angelo Dundee. You can get up too high and forget the job at hand.
Oh, no. He's had over a year to do it. A lot of people don't realize this kid's been training for a year. Never had the gloves off. This kid is an athlete. This kid plays his tennis. He plays his basketball. He's been working with the amateurs in Palmer Park, Maryland, and he's in great shape. Physically tremendous. Took about 9 months to bring him back the way you wanted him, but now he's ready.
So in other words, when Angelo Dundee reads into the newspaper, and the viewers out there know what we're talking about, you folks out there, you've asked this question: does he deserve a fight after 5 years of retirement with the champ?
Does Marvin Hagler deserve this fight? How fortunate is Marvin Hagler to have a Sugar Ray Leonard around? All I hear is crying that he got 1,500 one time when Ray got 40,000. He should have been very fortunate and very happy that he got that 1,500 and got that exposure, because he got to be a known quantity on account of being on Sugar Ray Leonard's show. I think Hagler should be grateful and happy that he's fighting a Sugar Ray Leonard. Does he deserve it? Check the excitement. Check the sold-out house. Check everybody getting excited. You know, people going a variety of things. The do-gooders coming on with the do-gooder stuff. And the guys that are really like a good fight are in for a great night of boxing. That's what they're going to get.
Folks, this man has something that he's going to expose to everybody right now. It's in his left hand. Hold it up to the camera and tell me what you just told me a little bit ago before we went on. I see the belly button there.
This is a New York Times magazine piece.
Right.
Now, you'll notice he's got these trunks at his hips. Now, you'll see the little roll over here, and you'll see his navel. Now, you've never seen this navel in a fight. I want you to know that. No fight fan, because Marvin Hagler uses a protection where he keeps the trunks that high. And it's way above into his short rib. Now, I know doggone well the belly button's not going to move. I know the hips are not moving under his short rib. So all I know is that I don't think he gets special dispensation for being the middleweight champ of the world. So if he comes into the ring with trunks up to under his short ribs, lo and behold, Sugar Ray Leonard's going to have the same trunks. I contacted the guy that made the trunks for Marvin Hagler. We're going to have the same trunks, same height. So I think what I'll do, though, I want my a little bit better dressed. I'm going to put a bow tie on because it's going to be so high. And I want him to have a little etiquette.
Angelo Dundee, when I interviewed Marvin Hagler, and you're aware, the show was on before this show, he said, as I looked at him, I could tell from his conversation that he had viciousness in his mind. I said to him, Marvin Hagler, I get the feeling you want to hurt Sugar. He says, I'm going to hurt him from the first bell.
Well, Ray don't want to put hurt on nobody. He's just going to give him a man-sized licking. Because Marvin Hagler's never fought the talents of a Sugar Ray Leonard. Marvin Hagler's going to have difficulty reaching my guy. Marvin Hagler's going to have difficulty finding my fighter. Because whenever he tries to find him, he's going to get nailed. Marvin Hagler don't realize he's fighting a big fella. My guy's 5'11 and a quarter, a solid middleweight. There won't be a half a pound, pound and a half difference in their weights fight time. Because my guy's going to be a solid middleweight. He matured into a middleweight the time he was off, naturally. And that's the only way to do it, naturally.
Now, I asked Marvin Hagler, I said, are you saying this because you're trying to hype this fight? Are you saying this because you want to hype this fight?
There's no hype. It's sold out. We're not selling nothing. I'm just saying my fighter, Sugar Ray Leonard's a better fighter than Marvin Hagler. He'll find out the night of the fight. This is the tough life that a fighter has to lead. He finds out, hey, that guy was better than me. And after the fight, we'll shake hands, we'll be friends. I don't think Marvin has got any hate in his mind. He's trying to hate my guy, but he really likes my guy. Look at the bread he's making with my fighter, Sugar Ray Leonard. He ought to be happy that Ray's around. And we're happy Marvin Hagler's around, because Ray will win his title. We'll shake hands after the fight and we'll wish him well.
most important factor in this fight? Thinking?
I wouldn't think so. I think that Marvin's a very good fighter. This is not a tough fight, by the way. This is not a bombs away kind of fight. Marvin's misinterpreted. He's a technical kind of a fighter. My fighter has more technique, more speed. And I'm going to tell you something else. My fighter is the puncher in this fight. You're going to see him hurt Hagler with several kind of punches he's going to nail the guy with. He's going to hurt him under, over, around. And he's going to win. And let me tell you something. After he does the fight, I can't tell you what he's going to do. But that's his decision, because he's fighting Marvin Hagler because it was his decision.
Angelo Dundee, don't move, because we've got another 5 minutes, and then we'll close it out in the fastest half hour in television. But I've got something I want to spring on, the epitome of all trainers, right after we come back from this commercial break. Don't go away. Angelo Dundee's with us.
Follow your favorite players and teams in the sporting news. The fans' favorite for over 100 years. All the news and stats and standings, everything you want, every week, starting with a big baseball special preview issue. Grab a pencil, and here's a friend with all the details.
Save more than half off the single copy price and get 38 issues of the sporting news for 3 payments of $7.16. That's 48% off the regular price, plus the guide to baseball nicknames. Call 1-800-351-5200.
The world is waiting. We can take you there with Air Canada style. See how much we care. World class, worldwide. World class, worldwide. So fly Air Canada for all the best you deserve. All over the world. World class, worldwide. Air Canada.
The fastest half hour in television will return after these messages.
So you think you're a cowboy, but you're only
Willie Nelson, a legend in jeans. And those jeans got to be Wrangler Cowboy Cut. Designed by cowboys, they're the only official jeans of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. Wrangler Cowboy Cut jeans.
Hey, everybody knows real cowboys wear Wrangler.
Who are you calling? You've been on the phone forever.
The Air Express Company. They won't pick up the phone.
Hold it. If you'd called Federal Express, you wouldn't be having this problem. Come with me. You see, Federal has the most advanced communication system in the business.
I didn't know that.
And this lets us respond to calls in seconds and give you information quicker.
I didn't know that.
Next time, call Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else?
I think I'll call Federal. Then maybe I'll get this stupid phone off my ear.
Attention! Ken Brown of El Cerrito, California. You're this week's winner of our one-on-one giveaway. Would you like to win a football, baseball, or basketball? Well, you can. Just send a card or letter before midnight Monday to P.O. Box 5112, South San Francisco, California, 94083-5112, and your name can be selected in our random drawing, as each week we'll pick one winner. Remember, there's no obligation and no purchase necessary, so send those cards and letters today, and you might be a winner.
Well, as I told you, when you're enjoying yourself, time just goes like crazy. We're talking with the great trainer, Angelo Dundee, and I gotta ask you another question that talks about greatness. What's it like? I'm watching you doing the public workout here, and you're talking to Sugar Ray Leonard. What's it like with him in the corner as opposed to other fighters in the corner? What's he been like in the corner as opposed to, say, a Muhammad Ali?
Well, he's a dream. He's cool, he's calm. Great fighters have that knack and technique. You impart to them very easily because they get used to your vernacular. Because I've been with Ray from the beginning, right out of the Olympics, and it's been a joy. I mean, remember, it's my joy to be with a Sugar Ray Leonard. And I'm having a party, I'm having a ball. In fact, the whole camp's having a ball. That's another key thing you saw. Everybody's smiling, everybody's happy because the job is being done. And Ray creates that because there's only one star in the camp, that's Sugar Ray Leonard.
So in other words, you're saying that he doesn't really get flustered. He's in control of himself.
He's in control. He's a great athlete. He's good at what he does. I thought he was a heck of an analyst. He's talking about going back to it after it's all over. I think he's great, and I got a little jealous because for a while he was training Sean O'Sullivan. That's my job. I'm a trainer. He shouldn't do that to me. He hurt my feelings, but I'll forgive you. I like the guy.
Gotta ask this question, folks, and bear with me now, because I want you to get the reaction from Angelo Dundee. I know what reaction I had. I know what the reaction the public had out there when it was announced that Sugar Ray would take this fight. When you knew that this fight was going to come about, what was your reaction? Because I was, like most of the viewers out there, I don't want him to take the fight. I want to remember him as the great champion that he was.
I know. Clean bill of health medically, no problem. It's better now than it was before. Medically clear. My reaction, he's doing this because he wants to satisfy one individual, Sugar Ray Leonard. I think it's a God-given right. In this United States of A we live in, democratic country, I feel that the kid, that if he didn't take this fight, he would have had a negative approach to life because he wanted to do this. Thank God he's doing it. He's getting out of his system. He'll go on in life. He'll be great no matter what he does. And his contribution to boxing, forget about it. Phenomenal. And here he is creating a happening again.
Okay, Angelo Dundee, you're as smart as there is. You know people. You've been one-on-one with Sugar Ray Leonard by yourself. You know what the truth is. Is this it, win or lose?
I don't know. I can't get into a fighter's head, you know what I mean? The fighter's got his own mind, and he's going to do what he wants to do.
What do you think?
I think Ray will say adios after this fight, because I think the contribution he's had to boxing has been phenomenal. I'm grateful to the guy because he took the slack up after the big guy left us, Muhammad. He made it for the first time a little guy can get that much interest.
But Angelo Dundee, you and I both know that with a lot of the pro athletes, you got to tear the uniform off of them. You got to tear the trunks off of them for some reason. You saying that you won't have to tear the trunks off Sugar Ray, that he'll know that it's that this is it?
He'll do his own things. He's doing this right now because he wants to do it. He'll do whatever he wants to do after the fight. And by the way, I use the same vernacular. Cross that bridge when you come to it.
30 seconds now, we're going to close it off.
Right.
No questions in your mind who the winner is going to be?
Sugar Ray Leonard will win April 6th, possibly by a knockout, 8, 9, or 10. Will win, become the middleweight champion of the world. And we don't hate Hagler. We like Hagler, and we're grateful that he was around, and I'm happy, I'm sure happy to know that he's going to be happy that we were around.
Angelo Dundee, thanks for visiting us one-on-one. We will be back after the fight with another guest next week. We'll see you one-on-one. Thank you.